Hi everyone, this is Aki with another video, and this one is actually about self-publishing through Amazon print on demand. So I have one book here and another one that I published through Amazon. Okay, let me try to see if you can see it. Okay, paperback. So this one is larger. So what I think, first of all, I love it. I was so impressed. So I've actually used the Amazon paperback publishing in the past for another design book that I've done, just to kind of to test it out, how this works, this whole process of publishing on your own. And so these two books I published in 2022. One was I think February, and the other one was supposed to be March, then it ended up in April, and then just before tax season, so really late. But again, that's okay. I just learn, and next year when I update it, I'll try to do it earlier. But anyway, so this one is paperback, and what I was really afraid when I get the books, I was really afraid that even though I reviewed everything on screen and so on, that it will come off messed up. But actually the formatting is exactly how I had it, because you see, for both books, I not only have text, I also have tables, I also have visuals, more different type of visuals, and I have images. You see tables right here and so on. And I also have a lot of footnotes. I try to put the top headers, change them. Now originally, you see there's another image and so on. Now originally I have this, both of my books have color inside. So this one was this kind of green, blue, sage or turquoise color, and everything inside I had it kind of blocked, or certain titles or certain headers and so on. Like this one, you see, this would have been in the turquoise dark color, but because of the cost, obviously it was not making any sense to print this in color, so I went with the white paper and black and white, just the cover that's color. And with this one, everything inside was actually dark orange, and you can see everything is really nicely formatted. So this is a giant book. I know I worked a very long time on this. So I also have tables and headings and so on, and I will have also visuals here. Let me just see if I can find one right now. Let me see. Okay, then I have these little sections that are a little different. More tables. Okay, where's a visual when you need it? Maybe just in the beginning. So it's here, images. That's an image here. Some different things quizzes, and more tables and so on. And so there's different things, but everything inside also was kind of highlighted with the orange, dark orange, certain sections. But obviously I went with black and white because it was costing, I don't know, $30 for this book. So let me just tell you the options. So this one is 6x9, 140 pages. So it's pretty thin. I did the side design as well, and the back as well. Now I had my own ISBN number because I just decided that that's something that I want to do going forward. So I just want to have my own, versus if you just use it on Amazon and then you can't use that ISBN number if you want to print this somewhere else or use another service. So I wanted to have my own. My first one that I've done, I didn't, but I've learned over the time, and so now I wanted to do it. So they're very similar in how I structured them because I just didn't have time, and I wanted them to kind of have the same theme going. So this one, you see, this one is actually 7x10 And this one is how many pages right now? It's about 460. So you see, this is a big book. So I was really worried how this one will print, but you can see actually everything came out pretty nice. I'm so happy. That one thing, like the back, I really like how everything came out, but I think the font I've used, it's a little bit too big on this section because it just kind of looks like it's a large font book, which I wanted to do in the future, but not for this one. So I don't want to have this impression that it is. So I probably will change it like going forward next time. Now, this book, so there are some things that I had to work through in order to get this published. So originally I also started with kind of the same format as 6x9, but as you notice, like when the book gets bigger, like when you open it, you have to think about the margins inside here. And so I had to redesign it because I needed to make the margins narrower because then it was getting rejected to Amazon service that I don't have enough space, that it's getting cut off inside the book. So I had to add more margins on the sides, both sides, and especially the middle. So then my text was getting really narrow and just looked horrible. So I designed it during the process to just widen the margins and make the book larger. So, the standards, they were saying 7x9 from 6 to 9. But I went through some books at home, I looked how they look, how big they are. So I kind of just like reviewed how everything looks. And I just actually went by 7 and 10. I thought this would be the best fit for this kind of book because, first of all, it reduces the number of pages for me, which, it was already giant. And then it just looked better. And I'm so happy I did that because it really came out really great. So it's like this big book, but it's just perfect for the size of it. Imagine like having it bigger and thinner. I don't think it would just be great textbook. So now another thing that I had to go through, this book color used to be orange and then it had black and white font on the cover, but it kept getting rejected and I could not figure out. I thought, because the rejection reason they kept sending me was so vague that I couldn't tell what was wrong. Okay, I knew something with the cover. It was getting accepted through the process when I uploaded it, but it kept getting rejected later on. I got an email that, okay, actually we reviewed further and it got rejected. And it would just say very vague, make sure the font doesn't overlap, the colors don't are not too similar, there's enough contrast, there's like just very general comments. So it wasn't really specific. And I was checking contrast by just running the fonts colors basically through some internet websites, and everything was fine. So I could not, make sure that there's enough spacing here and there and on the sides. And I changed multiple these variation of this cover to try to figure out. Now finally, also this last line, I actually had it a little bit under the Q. I thought it would be just kind of funky a little bit, like hidden like that. But I think that was the main issue and was never pointed out, even though I got at least 10 rejections. So I guess, because the reason why I didn't think that was the issue, because I actually put that cover in Barnes & Noble and it was not rejected. It was accepted. So I thought, okay, so it can be it. But I guess that's what it was. And the colors maybe in the meantime. But I actually like that it actually came out white with this black and orange. It actually it pops, and I feel like it looks more professional maybe than if it was just orange. So, and I really like the side text, how it was. I really like how you can see here, it's kind of pressed, like there's this line right there kind of pressing it. And actually the quality was really good. The one thing was that when I got it, there was kind of like, you can see the tip of it is bent, and I think it was just the Amazon package was like thrown and it just bent it. The pages look really like great. The thickness of it just looks like a nice paper quality. It's not see-through like when you're reading it. Now, because I use the color, so some of the areas I feel like, maybe I should do black and white if I'm going to do black and white, because some of them are kind of faint. Like you see right here, certain things, like I put the colors there, but they're a little bit faint, or like here. Also some of that, but it's not too bad. Like I've compared it to other published actually books by professionals, and honestly, I've seen worse visuals in some of these books, so I'm really happy with this. Like you see, let me see another one that I know for sure that it would be, oh, like this one. You see, I have this visual, and this is like orange icons with some of the orange text, so it's kind of faint, but it's not too bad. Some of the grays that I had as a kind of like an option, like this section is kind of like gray, actually came a little bit, it's pretty good. And the size of the font, I don't know, maybe, let me see the size of the font. It's gonna be the same as this book, yes. I think this is nice because it's like visually, it's easy to read, but I'm just thinking right now, maybe it's a little bit too big. Hold on a second, let me check some other books, just a second. So I was looking at some other book that I have here, and definitely my font is a little bit bigger. It's a little maybe too big. I don't know. I mean, I think it's easy to read, but I use a 12 point, but maybe I should have used 10. So maybe that's something I have to rethink, because that looks kind of like maybe a large font print, which I think maybe for taxes that's really helpful, because otherwise it gets all kind of overwhelming. But that's something I have to think about it. So overall, I feel like the quality is really great, and I got the author copy, so it was really not expensive at all to get the author copy. And the black and white print is also reasonable, like it's with the color cover, so I would recommend it. And I think I was really happy with it, how colors came out exactly how I have it on screen, so it wasn't like a different shade of the color and so on. So thanks for watching.